Hey, welcome back to Riff's Garage, ladies and gentlemen. This episode, I am trying to install a radio in my Capri. It's 86 Capri. I've owned this car since the late 90s. The car never had a factory radio in it. It had some crappy radio back when I first got the car. And the car became a street race car and a drag car. And I never cared about having any kind of radio in it. Now, I'm going to put a radio in it. Well, let me show you what I found. People who do this need to be put in jail for about a year so they can think about what they've done every day. They need to be fed a very strict diet, and yeah. It's just not good. I'm going to flip it around and show you what I found. Now, some of these wires what I'm about to show you, I already knew about because I had an issue popping fuses. So these are the power wires. Let me see if I can get that light a little bit better. These are the power wires. You got, I got a manual I'm looking through, but the yellow and black is your hot. The blue, you can't really see the colors, I don't think, but the blue and red is illumination, and the green and yellow stripe, one my thumb is on, is your constant 12 volts. So these have shrink tubing on them because they still have the little, pin connectors on them. Because about a year ago, I was doing some stuff to the interior, putting new carpet and stuff in it, and I discovered that I kept popping fuses. And I thought, what the heck? So I got to diving into it, and the connector, the plastic connector that goes on these wires, fell off, and that wire was shorting out, and it kept killing the fuse. Well, then, for whatever reason, I must have moved it not realizing it. Well, then that one started shorting out when I would turn the key on. So it pretty much sucked. But what I'm going to show you that really drives me up the wall is this. Oop, light back on. Tucked way back in here, I have discovered factory speaker wires without a connector. Yeah. Now I know about 90% of the people who put radios in these cars, every one of them run brand new speaker wire, and they all do fresh wiring and all that stuff, and that's cool. I don't have time tonight, and I don't have the speaker wire. I gotta go buy speaker wire, and that light is just blinded me. I'm gonna have to go see an optometrist now. So, I know factory wiring from 86 is not the greatest. It probably sucks, and that's all fine and dandy. And so I probably will run speaker wire to the back of the car. It does have speaker wire that somebody had ran for the front speakers. It's kind of dangling back there behind the where the radio goes. So I'll probably pull the dash pad. Well, I gotta take the dash pad cover off anyway, and I gotta put new speakers in the dash. I got new speakers in the back. Well, I'm putting in the back. They're not mounted yet because speaker wire. So anyhow, it's kind of what I'm dealing with. Now, what I'm going to do to make all that botched wiring work and still be somewhat neat, I'm going to use my weather pack connectors. So I'm going to use these for my power, hot and ground, illumination. So I have a 4-pin right here, 4-pin there, 4-pin there. Then I'm going to get another 4-pin, and I'm going to run it to my front speakers. And then I'm going to get another 4-pin and run it to the back speakers. That way, doing that, you can still take the radio in and out. I'm not going to have to hardwire anything. So, let me back up. The biggest reason that I don't want to do the, there's Ethan, my firstborn. Biggest reason that I don't want to run new wire under the hood and stuff is just because it's just too much of a clutter. So I already have, like, I'll show you what I got going on. So it's kind of neat. It's the power steering thing. Yeah, the wiring's kind of neat right now underneath the hood. And I don't want to just run extra wires out and for the radio. I'm going to give the factory radio wiring an attempt. I'll run new speaker wires and then we'll call that done. So, all right, let me show you what I've done. This is very temporary. This is just to see if the wiring works, is correct, and if the radio is going to power on. If all this works, then we'll move on to the next phase, and that's wiring up stuff. All right, so what I done was, where those wires had shrink tubing on them, so the yellow wire from the radio is your 12 volt from the battery. Your orange and white is for your dimmer, and your red is for your ignition switch. I don't have it grounded yet, so I'm hoping I can just touch it off to that screw right there. But let's go ahead and turn the key on and see if anything happens. See if I smoke something. Okay, key's on. Nothing's happening yet. Oh, we got something. Oh, we got lights. Lightage. See that? This is a terrible video angle because I'm having to hold that up. Yeah, let me do this. Alright. So I just have the ground wire just kind of shoved up in a little crack. There's that. Now let's see if the dimmer works. Ready? Oh, it does not work. That's lame. Huh. Anyhow, all right, well, factory wiring works. Let me show you what I got. So these is the radio harness that I have, and I thought I had a factory harness that I could splice into my factory harness, but I don't because the wires on my harness are cut. So I've got two options. I can go the junkyard route and try to find eBay or something, a factory harness that goes underneath the dash, or I can make my own like I discussed earlier. And I think I'm going to make my own using a weather pack. Well, these are pretty nice if you've never used one. So I got my pins, and these little things will just something like that. They will snap together like that. Boom. So then I can put one end in the car and the other end I can wire up right here. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to see how this is going to go. I got to make sure I got enough pins to do this. I think I do. Yeah, I do. So I need 3 female, and that is a thing still, contrary to popular belief. 3 male, and then the little weather seals. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Look at that crap. All right. Any advice I could give you whenever you're doing wiring is always even up your wires. See that? Look at that. See how uneven they are? I'm gonna turn this light on, see if I can get a little bit of light in here. And that's going to help. I need to move my overhead light over here, but then it'll block my TV. So I've just been kind of putting it off. All right. So we got ground. We have constant hot, ignition hot, and dimmer. I've determined that the dimmer does not work. And actually, I'm going to use a 4-pin. I just realized that. So I need to get one of each out because the factory wiring, the ground is not tied in through the connector. It's tied in through the main harness somewhere is where it's tied in through. It's not tied in through the, so I'm going to make it tied in, not like in football, but tied in, not tight in. All right, so we're going to cut these even. There we go. Now before I strip the wires, I want to go ahead and put these little things on. As you can see, the little end goes toward if you're from the south. If you're from the north, it's toward the connector or the pin, because that's what you're going to, whenever you crimp, you'll actually take the little round end right here and you'll just crimp that end around it, and it holds it on there for you. Get 2 more of these out. Man, something there messing with my sinuses. All right, so what I like to do, and this is, you know, everybody does it a little bit different, and that's cool, but what I like to do is put the female end, and this is the correct way. The female end goes on the power, right? So this will be the female end. It will go inside the car, and the male end will go on the radio. That way when you unplug it, you don't have exposed prongs that something could get in there and short out on. If you see on these, once you get your female pins in there and you snap your little red piece over, that holds them, keeps them popping out. Well, you would have to deliberately shove something in there to short those out. Whereas here, you'll just have 4 individual pins sticking out, and it would be easy to short out. So remember that male goes on your non-power side, female goes on your power side. A little bit of info that may help you out. When you strip these wires using a weather pack, man, I tell you, I'm gonna have to get a smaller pair of strippers over there. Some of this wire's a little bit small. There we go. It does not take a long strip of wire to crimp on whenever you crimp these. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. It's 18. Thought that would have been bigger. I do need to order some more these little weather pack things, and more pins. I'm going to shorten that down. All right. So if you look, the short pieces right here, that's what crimps around the wire. That crimps around the insulation on the wire. Well, on the inside of the pin, you have enough room to slide your copper inside of that. I don't know if you can see that or not. Get in there. Right there. Here's the female side. It's the same way. On the female side, you don't want to go too far in because this will be sliding in there, right? So it'll probably go in about yay far. So when you're doing these, you really want to kind of shorten it down a little bit. You don't want it to stick way up inside of there. So anyhow, that's a little tidbit. All right, now let's put these on. These are, I think they're iWis brand. Yeah, iWis, got these off Amazon. That's your different size. You see that? So we are doing 20 to 18 gauge wire. So be the middle one. So we'll put that end there, that end right there, and crimp it. Nice little tug. You can see that. Pretty good little crimp joint. I swear to you, my nose or nothing was not running nowhere near like this until I started filming. And that was just terrible, to quote the famous Charles Barkley. You can also do your tug test. Haha, get it. You can do your tug test after you have it crimped and while you're still holding the wire inside the crimper, like so. You can crimp it, smash, and then you can tug. Alright, so now let me show you what I got going on here. That, I don't know if you can see that. That's a nice looking crimp. It's dark over here, so excuse the lighting. Alright, now I'm going to show you what I'm going to do now. See if I can't get you a nice zoomed in thing on this. Excuse the natural disaster that has went through. That's what it looks like. There we go. Now, you got the round for the seal. You got a small one and you got a big one. If you use a small one on these, it will smash this yellow out. You don't want to do that. So I'll show you what I do. Kind of got to bend the wire up a little bit. Light's flickering. I think I got a ghost in here. It's cool. Give her a little twist. My little boy, as some of you had seen before on when I done the seatbelt video, he likes to run around like a maniac upstairs, and in the process I think he's damaged one of my lights down here. Alright, so now I'll take that and you'll just like that. Now, can you see that? Just enough to hold it. That's all you're wanting to do. Alright, so there's that. If you guys can see those. So now this will pop into here. And what I always get confused on, I always have to remind myself, is which way those go in there. I think on the males, I don't know if it matters. It may. I just maybe can't remember. But yeah. I feel like I'm missing something to these things. maybe not. All right. So now, this is where I should have had a pen and paper to write this down. So we got, let's see here, what side we're going to call pin 1. There we go. So pin 1, we're going to go constant on, actually we're going to go switch on pin 1. So you just have to maneuver it in. Maneuver. Yeah. Yep. Snap. Good grief. Man, that was goofy. Now let's put that in there and push it down. All right. Oh, is that one in? Yeah, it's in. The other ones fit pretty tight. That one, number 4, don't fit too good. Make sure that's pushed down all the way. All right. There's the radio side of the power. All right, so I got this set of the front speakers wired up and in their connector. This is the rears. They're wired up, but not in their connector yet. So, that being said, found a little notch. The notch is toward the tab. So, what I've done on the front one is, this is 1. So, the gray is right. 1 and 2 is right. So, it's plus and minus. And 3 and 4 is left, plus and minus. So 3 plus, 4 minus, 1 plus, 2 minus. Same thing on here. I'm going to go, according to this, purple is right. So purple will go on 1 and 2. So it'll be plus, minus. Actually, I've done that wrong. I wired it up minus, plus. So I'm going to keep it the same, minus, plus. I'm a little bit dyslexic, guys. So overlook me. So we're going to do black stripe on 1, which is what I did on the other one. I don't know why I was thinking it was plus. I knew it was minus. I gotta watch that sometimes. I'll do that. A little bit dyslexic. My light, I'm gonna have to get a new light. All right. So now we do have right, left, 1 and 2 is right, 3 and 4 is left, 1 and 2 right, 3 and 4 left, and it is, like I said, I'm a little bit dyslexic, so it's kind of funny. Sometimes I will do things backwards like that. But anyhow, the color with the black stripe is always your negative. Let's keep that in mind. And I knew that, but I just didn't do it. Now, just to kind of give these a little test, I'm just going to plug them in right here. I already plugged that one in. It fit perfect. Now these are not like the really good name brands, so they're Amazon. So you got to kind of wiggle it around. Boom. So when I wired the other ends up in the car, that's how they'll fit. All right, so the radio is wired. If you guys can see that good, but speakers are female, power's male. Connectors are nice and even. I bought brand new speaker wire. I'm going to run it. Of course, it's getting late tonight, so I'm going to wrap it up. And I will see you guys tomorrow. But anyhow, if this is a part 2, then peace. If not, peace anyway. See you guys tomorrow.